Good morning, students. Welcome back to my video where we'll be learning chapter 4, the phylum, up to which we have completed previously, that is assignments, and the phylum we will begin with is the Annelida. Okay, so we will start with the sixth phylum of animal kingdom, that is Annelida. While we were studying the basis of classification, we were taking an example of Annelida such as leech and earthworm. It comes under the Annelida. The major characteristic of Annelida is the segmented body. The body is segmented. Okay, so Annelida itself means the ring present in the body. Okay, so suppose if this is the cylindrical structure of an earthworm or a leech, it has a segment like this throughout the entire part of the body. It has a segment like this. So this segment itself means Annelida. Okay, any organism having a segmented body, it comes under Annelida along with this other characteristic also. But this is the main characteristic, and the segment part of the body. So we'll see one by one the characteristic of the Annelida. They are marine dwellers, mainly aquatic, marine, or you will also find them in fresh water. So mainly they are aquatic. Also terrestrial. They are free living. Free living means they depend upon themselves for the food. They search for their food. They don't depend upon any host body for the food. Okay, so they are heterotrophic and they search for food by themselves. Okay, free living. So they don't associate with any organism. Free living means like how we are free living. We are not attached with any organism's body for the food. Okay, but such as tapeworm, platyhelminth tapeworm, they are associated with our intestine and they completely depend upon the food which we produce, which we eat, and then they eat that food. So they are dependent on the body. So free living means which can search for the food and eat the food from outside and any other sources. But parasitic means they depend upon the host body. So some of them, generally they are free living, but some are parasitic. Okay, and they show they have organ system level of organization. Okay, they have organ system level of organization. That means they have digestive system, excretory system, nervous system, okay, respiratory system. They have well developed organ system in their body. So they have organ system level and their body is bilaterally symmetrical. Triploblastic. Triploblastic, if you can recall, what is it? Triploblastic, if you can recall, what is it? It is the body is made up of three embryonic layer. Okay, their body has been organized from three embryonic layer: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Okay, so as I have told you that whenever you see the video content, you need to sit with your notebook and also with your textbook. Okay, textbook is to refer with the diagram and notebook is to note down that okay, this is the point I did not understand. Okay, this is the point I clearly understood. So your point of understanding and your point of doubts you should note down always while you are going to the content. Okay, so triploblastic, and they are coelomate. Coelomate means having body cavity. Metamerically segmented. their body is metamerically segmented. It means the body which we drew here, these segments are called metameres. Okay, that's why it is called metamerically segmented, and the process is called metamerism. In the basis of classification, we have learned about metamerism. So, these segments which are developed in the body, so these segments throughout the body is known as metameres, segments, and that's why this segment is known as metamerically segmented, and the process is known as metamerism. Okay. Now they have a longitudinal and circular muscles that help them in locomotion. So this group of animals, annelids, they have longitudinal muscles in their body. Their body is made up of longitudinal muscles and circular muscles which helps them in locomotions. And as we know, some of the annelids are aquatic. So aquatic annelids such as nares. Nares is an example of annelid. So this nares, they are found in aquatic means in water. You find them in water. Okay, refer to the diagram from 4.11. You will see the diagram of nares. So these nares have appendages. These nares have appendages which we call, those appendages are called parapodia. And this parapodia helps them in swimming in water. So you will find this nares in the diagram. You see, they are like this. And they have appendages like this. Okay, so which is called parapodia, and this parapodia helps them to swim in the water. And they have closed circulatory system. As you know, on the basis of classification we have learned that circulatory system can be of two types, open and closed circulatory system. So this annelids, they have closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system means heart will pump the blood and the blood will move throughout the body through a network, a well-developed network of blood vessels. Okay, so there is a network, proper network of blood vessels throughout the body, and through that proper network of blood vessels, the blood will flow throughout the body. So that is called closed circulatory system. Having blood vessels of different types and blood capillaries, which is associated with the tissues, okay, all the tissues present in the body, and heart will pump the blood and the blood will move through this blood vessels and blood capillaries, and it will reach out to all the tissues. That was circulatory system, and then is nephridia. Nephridia is an organ which is related with the excretory system. They maintain the osmoregulation of the body. They do the osmoregulation of the body and they do the excretion. Nephridia. Nephridia is a tubular structure in the body. Suppose this is a body and it has a tubular structure. Tubes are present throughout the body. This is called nephridia. And it has a hole here which is called nephridiophore. Okay, nephridiophore. And through this the waste will come out. Okay, like how we have kidney. Through this kidney, the waste comes out, the blood which carries the waste, and that waste comes out through our kidney, and in the form of urine it comes out. In the same manner here, they don't have kidney, but they have this structure called nephridia. Through this tubule, the waste comes out through the nephridia fluid, through their body. Okay, and that is how they maintain the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means maintaining the water and salt, ions in our blood. Okay, in our tissue. Okay, so in our tissue, maintaining the water, salt, and ions level. Okay, that is known as osmoregulation. Regulating the fluids in our body. Next, the neural system. That is the nervous system. So it has a paired ganglia. Which is connected by lateral nerves. Connected by lateral nerves to dorsal ventral nerve cord. Okay, so what is ganglia? Ganglia is a tissue where it possesses lots of it carries group of neurons and glial cells. Okay, so ganglia is it possesses a group of neurons plus glial cells. Glial cells are also neurons. Different type of neurons. So this is called ganglia. Now in their body it has a paired ganglia. So this is a paired ganglia, and it is connected to the lateral. Throughout the body there is a double. Sorry, this one is double. You can see throughout the body there's two nerve cord. This is one nerve cord, this is the other nerve cord, which we call double ventral nerve cord. Okay, we call double ventral nerve cord. So it is connected with the ganglia. So this is ganglia, and these all are ganglia. So ganglia is connected with this double nerve cord, and through this is again connected with the brain. This is the brain. Ganglia is connected with the brain. So through here, the information passes to the body. Okay, from here, the information comes to the brain. So that is how the nervous system is arranged in the Annelida. Okay, so there are one pair of ganglia which is connected to the double ventral nerve cord. Okay. So the example, the thing which we see is the reproductive system. So nereis are dioecious. Dioecious means they are unisexual. So when an individual is unisexual, they possess only one reproductive organ. Obviously, they will go in search of other mate to do the reproduction. Okay, and earthworm and leeches. Earthworm, they are known as ferretima. The other name, biological name, ferretima. So they are leech. Leeches are also Dineria is the biological name for lich. Pheretima is biological name for earthworm. Both are bisexual. That means sexes are not separate. In this case, in case of lich, sexes are separate. Okay. Whereas in case of liches and earthworm, sexes are not separate. Okay. And since they are bisexual, they produce. They don't need other individual. But in case of earthworm, they need other mate. Though they are bisexual, they need other mate for reproducing. Okay. And here the fertilization is internal. Alright, fertilization is internal. So this was phylum Annelida. Then we will come to the next phylum, Arthropoda. Arthropoda is the largest phylum known. With 2/3 of the animal kingdom is only Arthropoda. Okay, out of the entire population of animal kingdom, 2/3 of the population is Arthropoda. Okay, the population of insect, the number of variety of insects are more compared to any other animal phylum. Okay, so we will see their characteristic. They are their body system, their body organization is organ system level. Okay, they are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic. They are segmented. Their body is segmented. If you have seen an insect such as butterfly, so this is head. The rest of the body is segmented. Right? If you have seen cockroach body is also segmented like this. Okay? So insects, their bodies are segmented, and they are coelomate, have pulsing body cavity. Their body is covered by a thin sheet of chitin. It's called chitinous exoskeleton. Exoskeleton means the skeleton which is present outside the body, not inside the body. In our case, skeleton is present inside, so we call it as endoskeleton. Okay, and when the skeleton is present, which is covering the body, so that is called exoskeleton. So made up of chitin, a very tough material. So bones need to be, skeleton needs to be tough. Okay, so they are made up of chitin. So chitin is a tough material by which the skeleton is made, and it covers the body like a protective covering. And the body is divided into several parts. First part is head, then thorax, abdomen, and joint appendages. So head, then thorax, then abdomen, and abdomens are generally segmented. And it has joint appendages, means legs like this, joint legs. Okay, this is head, thorax, abdomen, and having joint legs. This is how insects are. Okay, arthropodas are insects. So this is how the body structure of insects are. Okay, so arthropoda itself means joint appendages. Appendages means legs. Poda means appendages. Joint means arthro. Okay, arthropoda. Then we see the respiratory system. So some insects are aquatic, so they have gills. And when you say book gills, it means primitive gills. Okay, not well developed gills, book gills. Okay, so many insects are aquatic, many insects are terrestrial. So the insects which are aquatic, they have gills and they have primitive gills, like in king crab. Okay, in king crab they have primitive gills, and some they have book lungs, again primitive lungs. Alright, and book lungs, this is for the terrestrial insects which has tracheal system of respiration. Tracheal system means they have spiracles and trachea. So what is this? So suppose that we draw this insect here. So their body has holes, small holes, which we call pores. So these pores are called spiracles. Okay, through these pores the air comes in and it goes to the tube. Okay, and this tube are known as trachea, and this tube takes the air to the body tissue and supplies the oxygen, and then from the body the waste, the carbon dioxide, comes out through this holes. So this is called book lungs or tracheal system. So their circulatory system is open. The circulatory system is open. That means they have heart, and their heart pumps the blood, and the blood rush out from the heart and wash all the tissue and comes back to the heart. They don't have blood vessels. Through a proper channel of blood vessels, they don't individually go to the tissue. Okay, they have a heart and a cavity where all the organs are present. So when the heart pumps the blood, all the blood, it rush out and wash all the organs and supplies all the necessary materials and is pumped back to the heart. Okay, so which we call open, when they don't have well developed network of blood vessels or capillaries. So sensory organs. They have antenna, eyes can be compound and simple, and statocyst. Statocyst is a balanced sensory organ. So this statocyst is a sensory organ in their body which balances their body, like how we have hairs inside our ear. Okay, in our internal ear we have hairs, fine hairs. So that hairs helps us to keep a balance of our body. So those fine hairs is a sensory organ. It sends impulse to our brain, and that is how our body is balanced. So like that, they also have this sensory organ called a statocyst. They maintain the balance of the body. And the last one is not the last one. The excretory system is the Malpighian tubules. You have to see the reproductive organ also. Malpighian tubules. So inside their body they have a group of tubules like this in their, along with the digestive tract. Okay, so this Malpighian tubule, they do the excretion. Okay, whatever waste comes with the blood from the blood, it will absorb this waste and it will pass out this waste. Okay, it will remove the waste through this tubules, excretory system. Then reproductive system. They are dioecious. Dioecious means you all know. Unisexual. So So they need other mate for reproduction, and they search for the mate and they reproduce, and their fertilization is internal. When I say internal fertilization means the male gamete will fertilize the female gamete inside the female body. Okay? And they are oviparous. Oviparous means they lay eggs. So examples, there are several examples given. Apis, Bombyx, Lecifer, Anopheles, Culex, Aedes, gregarious pest, and living fossils. So all these examples are given with some reference. So Apis, Bombyx and Lecifer, these all are product-based insects. That means they give us a beneficial product. Apis, like honeybee, they give us product honey, and Bombyx they give us silk, and Lecifer they give us dye. Okay, so beneficial insects are Apis, Bombyx and Lecifer, and vectors means those brings diseases. Anopheles, Culex and Aedes, they bring fever to us, malaria and Japanese encephalitis and all. Okay, and gregarious pests are those pests which locusta. So locusta is gregarious pest, means this pest travel from one place to another to destroy the harvest, to eat the harvest. Okay, and living fossils examples are Limulus, which Limulus is a horseshoe crab. Okay, and this horseshoe crab, they are known as living fossil, means of an organism which has lived, which has found on this planet since million years ago, which are not new organisms, which are very old in this planet. Okay, we are very new, we human beings are very new to this planet. Okay, so our ancestors who are very old but they died. Okay, but this living fossils means which are related to the previous organism, and also they have lived on this planet for very quite long period of time. So this Limulus, which we call king crab, so this king crab are known as living fossil because they have lived on this planet for million of years, sorry. So million years ago they were found. So we'll come to the next phylum, that is Mollusca. Mollusca are the third largest phylum, like how second largest. Like how insects are the first largest phylum, Mollusca are the third largest, and they are terrestrial. You'll find Mollusca in land also, terrestrial, and aquatic also, in water also. And in aquatic means you'll find them in marine and freshwater both. Okay, and their body system is, body has organ system level. From now onwards, see, whatever we have started organ system level from platyhelminths. So from that onwards, all the organism has organ system level. Okay, bilateral symmetrical, they are bilateral symmetry, triploblastic coelomate. And body is covered by a shell, calcareous shell. So you must have seen snails, right? So snails' body is covered by a tough shell which is made up of calcareous shell. The body has no segments, so unsegmented body, but they have head, muscular foot and visceral hump. The body is divided into these three parts: muscular foot, head. So let me just draw. This is the head with an antenna type, and then is a visceral hump, and this is muscular foot. By this foot, muscular foot, they walk, okay, they travel, and this visceral hump is covered by the shell, okay, calcareous shell. So this is calcareous shell. This is head, visceral hump, and this is muscular foot. Now see, there is another layer of a spongy layer in the visceral hump. See, here there is another layer over the visceral hump. This is a spongy layer, we say. Spongy layer, and it forms this spongy layer over the visceral hump. It forms a mantle. It forms a mantle, and it creates a space called mantle cavity. So now here you see it has created a space here, and this space is known as mantle cavity. Okay, and where a feather-like gills are present. So here in this mantle cavity, a feather-like gills are present. Feather-like gills. And the purpose of this feather-like gills is, what they do? They do the respiration and excretion. Okay? You can refer to the diagram here to understand where does the feather-like gills are present. This feather-like gills are present in the mantle cavity, and this cavity is created by the spongy layer over the visceral hump. So this one is a hump, visceral hump. So over this visceral hump there is a layer made up of a thin tissue called spongy tissue, which creates a cavity, and inside this cavity this feather-like gills are present, which they do the respiration and excretion. Next, their head possesses sensory tentacles. What are the organs present in the head? Sensory tentacles are present. You can see I have drawn as tentacles here. Sensory tentacles, which receives the signal, and it has a mouth. And mouth has a file-like rasping organ. File-like, okay, rasping organ, which is called radula. Called radula. The mouth has an organ called radula, which is file-like. Okay, so this radula is for feeding. The mouth has this file-like organ here, which is for feeding. Okay, and then this reproductive organ, they are unisexual. They are dioecious. That means unisexual. They search for mate for reproducing, and they produce. They are oviparous. That means they also lay eggs. Okay, so here we come to a conclusion here, and examples are snails, okay, mollusca, oysters are the examples. Now we'll see the last phylum for today's class, that is Echinodermata. Echinodermata, it means, echino means spine, spiny, and dermata means skin. So spiny skin or spiny bodied. Okay, that is called Echinodermata. So it possesses endoskeleton, This organism possesses endoskeleton and which are made up of calcareous ossicles. Okay, since their body is made up of calcareous ossicle, so that's why their outer layer of the skin is spiny. Okay, so that's why they are called spiny skin. Okay, Echinodermata, and this spiny part of the body is made up of calcareous endoskeleton. Inside the body it is found, and they are basically marine. You won't find them in fresh water. And organ system level, radial symmetry. So when they are adult, then their body is radially symmetrical. Okay, when they are adult. But when they are young, like a larva, during the larval stage, they are bilateral symmetrical. Okay, and they are triploblastic, coelomate, and they have digestive system. They have complete digestive system. If you can remember from the basis of classification, we have seen two types of digestive system, complete and incomplete. And in incomplete, they have only one opening, and from that one opening, they ingest the food and they digest the food. They take the food and they remove the food from one hole, one opening. So here digestive system is complete. That means they have separate mouth for ingestion and they have anus for removing the waste. Mouth and anus, they have separate opening. Okay, and they have water vascular system, which is very important. Vascular system. Okay, so then what is this water vascular system? So they have, throughout their body, they have canals. Okay, canals. And through that canals, the water rushes out through those canals like a hydraulic system. Okay, you must have seen people using a jet-like machine in the water body. Like there are several equipments which are used for the source of entertainment in water bodies. So you must have seen the people, they put some machine in their leg and they drive in the water, and from that machine the water is pushed down and it works like a jet and the person moves above the water. Okay, due to the water force which is coming out, and due to that hydraulic pressure the person moves above the water level. Okay, you must have seen that device by which people they do this entertainment in water bodies, like how they have jet motorbike, like how they have motorbike in which they use in water body, and surfing boat and yacht, and several devices are there like that. Hydraulic jet is present which they put in the leg, and then when they started, then a water is put inside that machine, and that water is forced downward, and that is when the person comes up from the water level. Okay, so hydraulic system. So this canals also, they work as an hydraulic system, and due to that hydraulic system, see throughout the body it has a canal, and from that canal the water rushes out, and as the water rushes out, it helps in locomotion, it helps in the movement, like how this machine which I was talking about, it helps the person to move and fly in the water. Okay, so like that it helps in the locomotion, and also it helps in the transportation of food through this canal. When the water rush out, it brings in the food, and also it helps in respiration. Okay, then we come to the reproductive part. Sexes are separate. When we say sexes are separate, it means it is dioecious. Okay, sexes are separate, dioecious, unisexual, and fertilization is external. Outside the body the fertilization takes place, like how it takes place in case of frogs and fish. Okay, in amphibians and in fish the fertilization is external, outside the body it takes place. Okay, so sexes are separate and fertilization takes place outside. And indirect development, you come across this term, direct development, indirect development. Direct development means when an individual give birth to young one, give birth to their offspring. Their offspring is same like their parents. They look like their parents. Okay, they are completely developed and then they are born. Okay, like in case of human being, the babies are exactly same like us. Our baby don't go through the larval stage, then pupa stage, then they become butterfly. So it's not like that. In case of butterfly, what you see, egg, then larva, then pupa. So that metamorphosis or that type of development is indirect. The stages come of egg, first egg, then larva, then adult. So that is indirect development. Okay. So their larvae are free swimming larvae. Okay. Example of Echinodermata are starfish. Okay, you can check from your textbook. Starfish is known as Asterias, and sea urchins, Echinus, and Antedon, sea lily we call, and Cucumberia, that is sea cucumber, and Ophiura, that is brittle star we call. Okay, so these all are the examples of Echinodermata. Please, to so many phylums we have studied till now, 9 phylum. There are some more to come. Okay, another 2 more, Hemichordata and Chordata, another 2 phylum. So since there are so many, it is always useful to make a table. Okay, make a table up to 9th phylum. You can make one table. Okay, and segregate them on the basis of their habitat, organ system, and symmetry, and their skeleton, tryptobastic digestive system, excretory. On the basis of them, you can segregate and write their characteristics. Okay, and the examples, which are very important. Examples are very important. So please revise and go through it. Any doubt, you please ask me. Okay, thank you and have a good day ahead.